Yeah, if you say dunillahi, it's not dunillahi, right? It's dunillahi, and it's the tip of the tongue touching the top teeth. Okay? So this is this makhraj. And we'll do a lot of practice when we recite. Any questions? Okay. So then moving on, we have the tip of the tongue in coming through the teeth. Okay? So those are going to be what letters? No. Am I skipping? Am I out of order? Oh. Okay. Let's do those first then, just because that's the way they come on the thing. Okay, so, that makes sense, because that's going to be the coming out of the mouth. So staying within the mouth still. It's going to be the tip of the tongue touching the bottom teeth now. Okay? As opposed to the top teeth. And these are going to be 3 letters, which are?
Sad. Zay.
And? Seen. Okay? Now, if you look at the qualities page on the characteristics, these 3 letters share a quality. It's safir. Okay? And it's like a whistle. It's a whistle. So you say else, as, and as. Okay? Yeah. So now again, sad and seen. Same makhraj. What's the difference? Yeah, this is thick, this is thin. Okay? So the sound comes from the same place. So if we want to say, so we read in Surah Fatiha, we say, Sliral, right? Sli. We don't say see. It comes from the same place. If you say see, if you smile, then the sad becomes a seen. Okay, but we say it thick, so we say Sliral, and then when we start Surah Fatiha, we say, when we start anything, we say, right? Bismillah. So the difference between me saying bis and bils is thick and thin, but the sound comes from the same place, right? Sound comes from the same place. The tip of the tongue against the bottom teeth. So else.
It actually touches the teeth.
Else. And as. Right? Az is a sound that people don't make mistakes on. It's just, it's. So they actually describe these as each one is a sound of a certain insect. Az is a bee, and else and us are something like a locust and something else. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they sound like, anyways.
I don't know, locusts in Florida?
Okay, but we all know what bees sound like. Az, which is bee, which is za. Okay, so we have example of this za is that's a lot of that. Okay. So somebody tries.
إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها.
Okay. So first off, we're gonna do that in a second, right? That's gonna be coming through the tab, and then we say za. So za is gonna be thin, right? So and we're talking about. Also, last week another question was I mentioned the letters of shiddah, the letters of strength, right? And said that those are the short letters, right? Those are the short letters because they're pronounced at the makhraj. The other ones are longer, okay? And then in the middle there's the letters of lin umar, if you look back, of tawassut, and then al-khawa are the longest letters. So whenever they have a sukoon on those letters, they're longer, right? So if I say ab, I can't make that ba long, right? It's going to be ab. But if I have an alam, I can say zul. It's a little longer, right? If I have a sin, I can say bismillah, and it's even longer, right?
So with the sukoon is the same thing as a shadda, you make it longer?
No. A shadda is different. A shadda is an emphasis, right? So on like ghunna, for example, we'll do shadda, and that's emphasis. This is just the length of the letter itself. So when we say, so like bismillah, right? You can say bismillah, or you can say bismillah, and that's how it's supposed to be, right? Because it's a longer letter, and also because it's hums, right? It's a letter of hums. So here we're going to say the lam a little bit longer. So we're going to say إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا
إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها زلزالها.
So people will mix the za with the that when they're reading. That's a common kind of thing to mix, right? That and za. And so it's not that they're hard, it's just being cognizant of which one is which, right?
So it's not Iza.
It's not iza. Yeah.
So like the tongue will just like push, like actually like push behind.
Yeah, iza. I mean, sorry.
Yeah,
Zul. Yeah.
Zul.
Yeah. Zul.
Zul.
If you're gonna say azka, right? Azka. But when we're gonna do that, it's gonna be different, right?
It's the bottom.
Yeah.
It's at the bottom. So it's not like English Z.
It's not like a Z, because a Z is like the middle,
Z, yeah.
right? Z. It's a little bit. It's actually a very similar sound,
Yeah.
right? So it's less of a difference here than when we said between D and dal, and ta and t. It's basically a Z, basically, but a little bit lower in pronunciation. Z, as. Right? Else and S. Okay. So we can say
Solin.
yeah. Sol. Okay, now this is going to be tricky. Why? The reason it's going to be tricky is because the lambs are thin. So you're going to go from thick to thin to thick to thin. So sol, solin. Yeah. That's how my mouth is supposed to move. Sol, solin. Right? So we'll do thick and thin. I'm jumping ahead. Okay, but these are not that hard in terms of makharij. What's hard is just knowing which one, when to say which one. But kind of theoretically, they're not that difficult. So the last three in the tongue are going to be the letters that come through the teeth. So the tongue actually coming through the teeth. Okay? And those are going to be three letters. And those are going to be? Yeah. So, wa, okay, da, and? Tha. Okay? Wa, that, and that. And this is in order of how far the tongue comes out. Okay, so you don't say L, you say L, and then you say L, and then you say Ath. Right? So when we said Idha, right? Idha. If you say Iza, right, the tongue doesn't come through. So it's Idha. So when we say right? Dhu. Right? Dhu mirratin. Dhu. We can say right? Dhalika. Right? Dhalika. And then if we want to put
والذاريات ذروا.
yeah, so the point we're trying to make here is the وَالذَّارِيَاتِ ذَرْوًا.
والذاريات ذروا.
So if your tongue doesn't come out, it's not pronounced correctly. If you just say وَالذَّارِيَاتِ ذَرْوًا, right, it's not coming out and it's not pronounced correctly. وَالذَّارِيَاتِ ذَرْوًا.
والذاريات ذروا.
Good. And again, we'll do a lot of this in practice. And then we have the law. Okay? So if we say, let's do that. So we can say, right? Basically, most basically, what comes a lot in the Quran? Yeah. So someone try it. ثم ثم.
And that's supposed to come out the most, your tongue?
Yes.
On the side?
Yes. Uh-huh. Try it. Okay, so this is going to be thick now. This is the difference again. Yeah, the difference between that and law is thick and thin. One. Yeah. إنه ظن.
إنه ظن.
But the tongue still comes through the teeth just a little bit. إنه ظن.
إنه ظن.
It's really difficult to kind of tell the difference between the two.
Between what?
The and that.
They just sound different. You just said them differently. So, two differences. One is that law is thick and that is thin. Okay, that's going to be the first difference. The second difference is that comes out further, right? That. Yeah, it actually comes through like that. If you just say that, or you say that. Yeah. And you say law. Law. So they come out different, the amount is different. So if we want to say, for example, with sukun sometimes they're easier to pronounce. So we'd say,
في لوح محفوظ.
okay, good. So first of all, as a refresher, what rule of nun sakin and tanween applies here?
إذا
So we have a tanween followed by a meme. This is going to be idgham with or without ghunna? With ghunna, right? This is idgham with ghunna. Okay, good. And then, so say it again now.
في لوح محفوظ.
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 Now, if you say mahfuz, right, that's a that. So that's where the distinction comes. Because this has to be pronounced thick. في لوح محفوظ.
في لوح محفوظ.